Hello everybody and welcome back to the DCAC channel. We're gonna solve some questions today. We're gonna solve some problems today. Let's see something interesting. Matrices. I don't feel like I wanna do matrices today. Island perimeter. That would be something with math, I guess. Who knows? Reversing a string doesn't seem like anything that we cannot handle anymore. Like we know how to do this. Flipping an image. That sounds interesting. So given a binary matrix A, we want to flip the image horizontally. Horizontally flipping the image would mean having let's see, then invert it and return the resulting image. To flip an image horizontally means that each row of the image is reversed. So we reverse each of the rows. For example, flipping this horizontally results in this. Yes. To invert an image means that each 0 is replaced by 1 and each 1 is replaced by 0. For example, inverting this would result to this. Sounds easy enough. So if we have our input, which we would like to see structured more matricey like this, oops, we would basically first flip those as well, yeah, I think I'll have them here. We will flip those as 0, 1, 1, yeah, like each of the rows. This would basically stay the same, this would stay the same, and then we flip this like so, we flip this like so, and this one like so. Basically we invert them, sorry. So let's see our output. It does match what they want. Let's see the nodes. The length of the matrix, or basically, you can always imagine a picture as a matrix if it's not some weird shape type picture or image. I mean, even if it were something like a circle, the corners that are not being displayed would still have coordinates. You would always have a matrix, to my understanding at least. So the length of the rows, basically this is the amount of rows, because if we have a list containing lists, I think we already discussed this in previous videos. The list contains other lists and each of those lists is a row. So the length of those lists, or the amount of lists, is the amount of rows. This is also equal to the amount of each row's length. That means our matrix is perfectly square and we never exceed 20 elements. That is good to know. And yes, of course, the values that are going to be taken from those matrices are either zeros or ones. So what do we want to do? Well, let's have our let's work directly with the input matrix. For line in a, yes, well, actually let's have it as is. Line equals line, and we just reverse it, and this is the operation to reverse all the elements. And I'm not sure how this would pan out, but I'm assuming it would pan out the same way as I'm thinking about it. Basically we replace the line with its inverted variant, or not inverted but reversed, well, no, flipped variant, right? Flipped. And we also want while we are at it, for cell in line. After we have flipped those, cell equals 1 if cell, was it, can I do this? I'm not even sure. I know you can do, for example, return something if something and then else, but I'm not sure you can do this here. So if cell equals 1, cell would be 0, else cell would be 1, because it would be 0 and we want to flip it to 1. And I'm assuming this is everything we need to do. Let's run our code and see how it goes. No. So from what I see, we didn't. Okay. Well, let's have it as is. Enumerate a. I guess we need to assign these to the matrix like this. I'm okay with that. And for cell, for index, cell in enumerate. I'm finding that this enumerate function is way more, it comes way more often than just, or at least in anything that's a tiny bit more complicated than the basic scenarios. You always kind of need to enumerate because you want to use the index. So it's always good to practice and know how to use that, I guess. And now, of course, what we are doing, if the cell is 1, we say line on the index would be this, or line on that index would be the other one, because we are flipping a0 in this case, and here we're flipping a1. Let's run it and see if that got us covered. I see this operation and I kind of get it, I guess. Let's see. I know why. I mean, we still have to assign these here, so it's how would you approach this? We run over the line. If the cell is this, let's have our new line, and what we could do is basically say new line append 0, and here we would have new line append 1, and at the end we will say a at this index. So basically we first swapped this line, and now we are running over the line. Yeah, we are basically looping through the line. We will have a separate line that will basically use the information we got while looping from the old through the old one. We will append values to this new one, and then we will just assign it. I'm assuming you could have done this. Let's just quickly try it. I think you could even do something like, because the line is already this line object is basically already swapped. I think we only need to do this basically, but this is just me trying to kind of just pick the language and see how this would look like. It didn't pan out. Let's forget about it then. Whoops. Yeah. and it's nothing that it's not a problem to actually experiment like that, because sometimes you find things that are now I forgot to do this, because then you kind of expand your knowledge on how the language works, and you're not always only trying to figure out the problem at hand, but kind of explore other stuff as well. So we do have an issue, and I guess I kind of get the issue, because yeah, we have to do this at the very end, and I'm assuming I got this wrong last time for the same reasons. I wonder what would be the issue here. Let's have our new line here, and yeah, outside of the loop, and we have not gotten our new line. Well, I guess the main issue would be that we are doing too many things in the same loop, and of course here I was kind of like working again with the same, with the same with the same old value from before. So let's have our new loop here after we have flipped this this thing, and I want to see how it looks now. I'm not sure we are there yet. Just kind of going off as I go, basically. Yeah. This should not be a tough problem. That's the thing. I was expecting this to be done way sooner. Now I'm kind of like wondering why that's not happening. So we are enumerating and iterating over each line, and now for each line, if the cell equals 1, we append a 0. If the cell equals 0 in this case and not 1, we append the 1. When we are done with this line, we go at the same index and put the new line. So I'm not sure why wouldn't that work. I would print our line real quick just to kind of verify that this operation here worked. So the first thing is that flipping worked. No, it didn't. It didn't, which is weird. Let's see. No, it totally did. Okay. And now I'm not sure why would not this. I just printing this. Why would this change in between code where we didn't change anything afterwards? Let's see. This got flipped. This got flipped. Okay, it stays the same. At least now. Now we want to do this, and now we want to only print our new line. So our new line should have this line for each of those, yeah, this would be the flipped one exactly. So the only thing that's left here is just assigning a on that index. Oh, I see. Well, not really, but it's weird. Index 1. I mean, it should not matter. I haven't worked with the same name of index or something like that in the same kind of like loop group, so I'm not sure if that would have caused any problem, but I don't think that would be it. And of course that should have been 1. And what do we have? This is the second one, this one, and this one. Our answer is accepted. So the issue here was only, and I'm not sure why would that be the issue, honestly. Calling index actually called it here instead of calling this one. I don't think this ever, I mean, I'm not even sure this was really the issue, but let's quickly try it again, just to make sure. If not, I'm not sure what did I change. I'll have to, yeah, wow, that is so weird. So having the same naming, I guess, messes with Python. It's good to know, and I will definitely keep in mind when having to work, even on problems like for work, that this could happen. This is so weird. Just because you are already outside of this loop, you shouldn't reference to something that was in the inner scope. Maybe somebody in the comments can give me an answer why this could happen. But anyway, what do we have other than that? I don't think there is anything for like test, like a edge case that we need to test for. The only thing that I'm worried about is that we might have issues when it comes to runtime, but in this case, just thinking about what we did here, our runtime would be, we go once over the matrix and we go another time over the matrix. So here basically for each line we have to revert the values that would be going once over the matrix, and here we basically do the same thing, but instead of reverting or swapping values, we actually invert them, and our runtime would be O of n, depending on the size of the matrix being n. Space complexity would be basically again O of n, because we are working within the matrix, plus a single line, single row, which is not really counted. This is a scalar value. And let's just submit it and see if we get, yeah, well, I guess we got it. With linear runtime complexity, it was basically enough. So yeah, fairly simple. That's the thing, I was thinking about it today. Sometimes you just get very simple questions to do, or something that seems very simple, very kind of like rudimentary, like 1-2 steps to do, and then you end up having yeah, kind of like with a mess, and you don't really know why, or sometimes you basically didn't expect the question or the problem to be actually very much complex, even though it seems easy. So it's always good to kind of like keep fighting and just try to figure it out. This was definitely something new and weird for me, and I will be doing some googling afterwards to see why this would be ever considered something that should be syntactically correct. But anyway, that was it from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you're new to the channel and you just want to kind of learn programming or Python, stick around, maybe subscribe. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.